Hey everybody, this is Josh. I just finished watching Monday Night Raw, and this is Wrestling in Review. We start off with our Roman Reigns segment. He comes out, get a big pop because he just came back last week. He beat cancer, and I'm happy he did. I'm glad that he's able to even beating cancer and be able to come back and wrestle and perform for us. I never had much of a problem with Roman Reigns. The performer and stuff. I was more angry at the way that he was booked, but that's beyond the point. He comes out and says that he has an issue and there's only one superstar standing in his way, and he says it's Seth Rollins, and everybody just automatically assumes he wants to be in the main event at or that title match at WrestleMania. He calls out Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins thinks the same thing. But no, he just wishes Seth good luck with the match at WrestleMania. What he wants is to get the band back together again, which means get the Shield back together again one more time. Seth is very hesitant about this. He says that I can do anything but that. Roman goes on to say that when he was gone, he's seen life a lot differently. That he's seen that you're not guaranteed tomorrow. You never know what's going to happen. Now, this is where I thought it kind of went sour, because Seth just automatically, right after he said that, was like, okay, let's do it. After, Dean and Seth being at each other's throat the whole time Roman Reigns was gone. So now he's just like, oh, all's forgiven. They called out Dean, and Dean came out, and he looked like he was going to say something, but then Elias comes, hits him behind with the guitar. Seth and Roman Reigns go up to check on him, but really, they didn't really check on him. It was so awkward. They just kind of went up there and they're like, hey, buddy, how are you? Are you okay? Eventually, Dean does get up, and he leaves them, pushes them away, leaves them, walks backstage. They go to a commercial. They come back, and it's a backstage promo with Drew McIntyre, Baron Corbin, and Bobby Lashley. They talk about the Shield and how they said that they killed the Shield months ago. They then go on to say that they're having a match against Finn Balor, Kurt Angle, and Braun Strowman, and how they're going to destroy them too. That match is next, the 6-man tag match. You got Finn Balor, Braun Strowman, Kurt Angle versus Drew McIntyre, Baron Corbin, and who else? Bobby Lashley. That's the other name. Now, this is kind of weird for me, because there was a few things that went wrong in this match I didn't like, but overall it was a pretty good match. First was, the competitors that came out of order. Usually, it's one team and the other team. But this time it was Finn Balor, Kurt Angle, then the whole of the team, and then Braun Strowman came out. And Braun Strowman was the only one that got an actual TV entrance, which is, I know that's why they saved him to last, so he can come out on TV. But still, it was just kind of match starts. Braun Strowman just starts hot, and he destroys Baron. He hits him with his running around the ring, a shoulder block into the into the barricade. Finn Balor was tagged in not shortly thereafter, and he was able to hit a sweet dive onto Bobby Lashley and Baron Corbin. And then when he was going to do it again, and when he got back into the ring, and Drew McIntyre was there, so he threw Drew out onto the floor, and he was going to do another flip on all of them, and then Leo Rush grabbed his leg, and the refs saw it too. The refs saw it and did nothing about it, not even saying, "Hey, Leo, go backstage," even though it should have been a disqualification. It's soon after that, Kurt Angle got tagged in. He cleaned house for a bit. And then Lio Rush interfered again, because at this point in time, Finn Balor was the legal man, and he got the pin, and then Lio Rush just kind of puts Finn's leg up on the rope, and again, in plain sight of the referee, it just felt forced and stupid. Eventually, I think Braun Strowman was Braun Strowman was the legal man, but Braun Strowman was the one fighting or doing the attacking, and he was going to do his whole running around the ring thing again and attack Bobby Lashley, but he moved out of the way and he hit Lio Rush, and him and Lio Rush both went through the barricade, and it looked really, really good. So that took out Braun for the rest of the match, because Bobby Lashley threw in Finn back into the ring. He got into the ring, hit the spear. 1, 2, 3. Match is over. It was like a good TV match. It wasn't anything special, but it was pretty good. I give it 3 stars out of 5. After the match, the heels attacked the faces. They threw Kurt Angle and Finn Balor into the stairs, and then went on their merry way. Next was a Heavy Machinery backstage promo, and it was just them being upset because the tag teams backstage were making fun of Otis, and I thought maybe they were going to do something interesting, because they made Otis start talking like an actual real person, but no, it was just like, oh, I'm sad, my feelings are hurt, well, boo-hoo, stop being, everybody's offended now. It's stupid. Next, there was a match between Natalia and Roo Wyatt. I'm not going to spend much time on this match because there was no match to talk about. It was like, I don't know, maybe less than 5 minutes. It was way too short. Natalia did win, but who cares? Both competitors deserve way more than this. I give this match 0 stars, and who cares? Next, again, another Lacey Evans walkout. Who cares? Bye-bye. There was a backstage promo with some SNL characters, and I guess they do the weekend report. I don't watch SNL, so this completely went over my head. I didn't like it anyway, and they did a few promos throughout the night, and I'm not going to mention the other ones because I didn't like any of them. I thought that they all were stupid. Next, we're going to have an in-ring promo from Triple H to, discuss what happened last week on Raw with Batista attacking Ric Flair. But first, there was an Instagram video message from Batista, basically saying, he's not showing up to Philly because he doesn't like Philly, basically is all he said. And he tells Triple H that, we're going to play by my rules until the game's over. And then he makes a pun about, Triple H being the game over. Triple H begins to talk about Ric Flair, and he begins to break the fourth wall, because instead of saying Ric Flair, he uses Ric Flair's real name, which is Richard Fleer. He goes on to say that they've been at each other's sides for years now, and they've seen the best of times and the worst of times. He goes on to mention his wedding, how Ric Flair was there, and he goes on to mention, he was at some of his weddings, and that he was there for Rick when he had to bury his son. The only bad thing or thing I didn't like about this was the fact that Triple H did like a fake choke up, like cough, and it just sounded awful. It sounded real forced. And you know what? Maybe it was real, but I don't think it was. It just sounded really forced. He goes on to say that whenever him and Batista fight, and it's that he wants Batista to be a man, and he wants him to grow some balls, and he's gonna fight him any way he wants. He'll go to his house if he wants. He'll invite him to Triple H's house, and he also mentions that when we do fight, that you're not gonna be fighting Triple H, the character. You're gonna be fighting the man. And I thought maybe he was going to use his real name, but he didn't. For anybody who doesn't know, his name is Paul Levesque. Next, they had another backstage promo. They recapped what happened with the women's title, with Ronda Rousey laying it down at Stephanie McMahon's feet. They decided, Stephanie McMahon, after showing the recap, Stephanie McMahon had decided that they're going to drop the charges against Becky, and that they're going to drop the suspension against Becky, and they're going to have a match at Fastlane, Becky versus Charlotte, for the women's title. Only if Becky comes to Raw tonight and signs a hold harmless agreement. This gets a big pop because, you know, who doesn't want to see Becky? Becky is wrestling in general today. Another backstage promo. Roman Reigns is talking to Dean. Dean's in this dark back part of the building, and Roman's like, you know, I thought we moved past this, and we have locker rooms now. You have a seat in my locker room anytime. Dean's kind of ignoring him because he says he has to get ready for his match. Roman's talked about, you know, reuniting the Shield again and again. Dean's just like, no, I'm on my own I'm on my own now. I have to get ready for my match. You know, leave me alone. And then he leaves. Next, there was a gauntlet match between Heavy Machinery, the B Team, the Ascension, and Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder. It was a very dull match. It started off with Heavy Machinery and the B Team. The B Team was gone in less than like 5 minutes. Next, the Ascension came in. Yeah. The only thing of mention I can say in this is that Tucker got thrown into the corner really hard, and it looked really good. The Ascension was eliminated not too long after that. They lasted maybe just a little bit longer than the B Team did. And then Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins came in, and they got destroyed. No hopes of Kurt ending his losing streak yet. I haven't been into the Heavy Machinery. I don't know. Ever since they were, I even saw them in NXT. I didn't like them in NXT either. I don't know. The two, I guess they're just too goofy for me. Like you know, I can laugh some at my wrestling, but I don't know. These guys are just too goofy for me, I guess. They go on, and next they go on to mention Tori Wilson being inducted to the Hall of Fame. They go on to show a video package of Tori Wilson and all her accomplishments, which was mostly just, you know, Playboy. I just think that I don't want to diss Tori Wilson because I'm sure she's worked hard in her career, but I just think that she doesn't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame, especially not in the wrestler's wing. They could have picked someone much better. I mean, I don't know, this is off the top of my head. Molly Holly. Molly Holly was an excellent wrestler, and she had lots of good characters throughout the years. I mean, she had, well, Molly Holly, she had Mighty Molly, she had, well, I can't think of anything right now. She had a character with Spike Dudley, but that was just Molly Holly, but just like an more innocent type of Molly Holly. Next, it is another backstage promo. This time it's Charlotte Flair. She goes on to says that you know, Becky will sign the hold harmless agreement because Becky's very prideful, and she says that when she does sign it and they do have their match at Fastlane, that she will put Becky on the shelf for good this time. And then cuts to another part of the building where Seth is trying to talk to Dean Ambrose to trying to get him to, you know, join the Shield again. He goes on to mention that, yeah, we fought a lot, but you know, that's what brothers do. Brothers fight. And he says that no matter that whenever we were in the ring together, no matter if we're against each other or with each other, that you were always my wrestling soulmate. I thought that was kind of corny, but it works. Dean again refuses to join the Shield. We cut out to the ring, and it's time for an Elias song. Honestly, I can't remember everything Elias said, but he was making fun of Philadelphia, and he even said something about all their moms being fatties. I'm pretty sure that's what he said. I thought that was pretty funny. Next is the match between Dean Ambrose and Elias. This is a very, very short match, but within the short amount of time, they would it was fast paced. They were able to do a lot within the given time. Dean Ambrose had a good start. He was attacking him. He even knocked him outside the ring into the barricade. Elias was able to hit Old School. I know I've seen him do it at least once before. It's just weird to see someone besides the Undertaker do it. Dean hits a nice suicide dive out to the ring, out to the floor. He always was able to do a nice suicide dive. I just don't think I've seen it in a while. But Elias was able to counter one of Dean's standing elbow drops with a knee to the face, hit drift away, hit him 1, 2, 3, and that was the end of the match. For the time they were given, it wasn't too bad. It caught my attention at least. I give this match 2 out of 3 stars. But you know what? This match wasn't even the real story, because the real story happened afterwards. Seth and Roman came out. They tried to console Dean about his loss and tried to get him to join the Shield once more. Dean left. He went to the crowd, and halfway up the stairs, Baron Corbin's music started playing. So Baron Corbin, Bobby Lashley, and Drew McIntyre came out. They attacked Roman and Seth. Dean came back and made the save. They beat up the bad guys and they ran away. And then Roman put his hand, while they were celebrating in the ring, Roman put his hand out, and then he made the fist, and then Seth did it, and they were waiting for Dean to and then eventually Dean put his hand out, and they made the fist signal shield thing. And it's official. I guess the Shield is officially back together now, and they are going to be having a match at Fastlane against Baron, Bobby, and Drew. This kind of makes me wonder if Dean Ambrose is actually leaving, because they went on to mention that too. They went on to say that that Dean's leaving, he's not renewing his contract, and yada yada yada. But I think maybe they're just playing it up. But you never know. Maybe they're not, and he actually is leaving. After this, they went backstage, and Becky Lynch is here. Got a huge pop. Yay! Everybody loves Becky Lynch. Next was a very nothing match. It was Tamina versus Sasha Banks. I gotta say, this is kind of like my bathroom break match, because it's hard to take Tamina as a threat to Sasha Banks. But Tamina actually won this match. She pinned Sasha Banks. But I still give this match 0, because I like I said, it was my bathroom break match, so I didn't really care. Next was backstage promo from Aleister Black and Ricochet, because they have a match with the tag team champions, the Revival, with the titles on the line. Anyway, they said that we're ready and we belong, and we're gonna win the titles. So that cut from backstage out to the ring, which the Revival already came out and did not get an entrance. Again, the tag team champions did not get an entrance. That just blows my mind. I don't know what they're doing with them. I hope they do, though they deserve better, so I hope they do something else. This was another nice, it was back and forth at the start, but really it was just to show off the new talent, the new NXT talent. Aleister Black, he hit a nice flip, in the ring flip. It's kind of weird because the way he was going, it looked like it lasts forever. Really, it just kind of like he had his arms spread, everything spread, and it just kind of felt like, oh, he's flying, and it was like lasting forever. And Ricochet, he was tagged in, and Ricochet, he's just amazing. He can do anything in the ring, and you don't want to blink, or you'll miss everything he does. Chad Gable and Bobby Roode did come out, and eventually they did attack the Revival and cause the disqualification for Ricochet and Aleister Black. And then after that happened, Ricochet and Aleister Black and Bobby Roode got into a little scuffle, which the NXT alumni won, and they ran off Chad Gable and Bobby Roode. And next, the contract signing for Becky Lynch's Hold Harmless agreement. Stephanie McMahon comes out. She recaps the situation again. She invites Charlotte Flair to come out, which I don't know why, because she didn't need to sign anything. It was just Becky Lynch that needed to sign it. But I know for storytelling purposes, and I get it, for storytelling purposes, she's going to come out there. But it just seemed weird to have her out there if she's not going to sign anything. But it didn't bug me at all. I'm only realizing this after the fact. She invites Becky Lynch out. Becky Lynch, after a little bit of reading it and a little bit of hazing from Charlotte, she does sign the contract. And then all of a sudden, Ronda Rousey's here. Ronda Rousey's walking backstage, comes out. Her music hits. She comes out to the ring. She basically says that, I didn't vacate the title. I want my title back. Stephanie McMahon gives her the title. And then she says that the match at Fastlane between Becky and Charlotte will now be a non-title match. But if Becky wins, she will be placed into the match for the women's title at WrestleMania, and will make it a triple threat match. Ronda, I guess, maybe turned heel. I'm not sure, because she goes on to talk to the fans that now you boo me and everything, and now I don't care. And then she goes on to beats the living crap, beats the crap out of Becky Lynch. And like at the end, it was Ronda Rousey standing over Becky Lynch. They cut to a scene backstage, and Stephanie McMahon is being interviewed by one of those backstage interviewers, and she says that Ronda Rousey is a lunatic. She's an animal. Now she's finally showing her true colors. That's the end of Raw. I like to see where this is going. Hope you guys have a good night. If you have any comments, leave them. If you like the video, subscribe if you want to. I just want to have conversations, I just want to put my opinion out there and see what people think. You guys have a good night.